Hello students, welcome to short dental concept video session on Medico apps. And the topic of discussion today is the Federation Dentine International or the FDI tooth numbering system. Now, before understanding this particular topic, what is the significance, I want you to subscribe our YouTube channel, and that is done by hitting the bell icon so that whenever I discuss such kind of important dental concepts or the MCQ discussions, you will be notified. So let's start by first hitting the bell icon and then understanding this important international system which is used to number the tooth. So if I use the term FDI system, what do you understand by that? So basically, it's a tooth numbering system which is given, and the significance is that because we want to know and we should know the numbering system. We cannot openly or we cannot easily say that how will you signify or how will you identify a particular tooth in the oral cavity? That's a very basic question which you must be wondering from the day you have started and you have joined the dentistry. So for that, lot of scientists had worked over this, and we have number of numbering systems, tooth numbering systems in that context. But here today, the FDI tooth numbering system we are going to discuss is very easy, first of all, and it is universally accepted. Second significant or second advantage of this FDI system is, and this is one of the most important questions which are usually asked in your viva as well as in your examination also. The theoretical examination as a short note question can be asked through this particular topic. So let's start by understanding what is this FDI system, and this FDI system is also known as two-digit system. And why do we call it as two-digit number or two-digit system? I'll also tell you that you will actually understand once you understand this entire concept. So this two-digit system or the FDI system was given in the year 1970. Okay, it was given in the year 1970. And this system has been adapted by both the WHO and IADR, the International Association of Dental Research. So that means it is a universally accepted tooth numbering system. Now, if I say that FDI is a two-digit system, what do you understand by that? So if I ask you a question that why do we call it as two-digit system, it is because the FDI system uses two digits for each of the tooth. Okay, it uses two digit. How they are going to use it, I'll just explain you. Now, this two digit is used for each tooth in case of both permanent and primary. That means in the permanent teeth as well as in the deciduous teeth. Now, for that, the tooth numbering system works by dividing the mouth, the oral cavity, into four quadrants. So as you can see in this image, we have divided the oral cavity. If this is your oral cavity, so we have divided it into four quadrants. How? So if this is the right and this is the left, so we will start by 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the FDI tooth numbering system as by dividing the oral cavity into four quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, how does this work? So for that, if I say that it's a two-digit system and it is using two digits for single tooth, what do you understand by that? Two digits we are using. So the first digit here, if X and Y are two digits we are using. So the first digit here denotes the quadrant. Now, how is the quadrant divided? I have just explained you that the oral cavity will be divided into four quadrants. Now, how is the quadrant divided? So we have divided the quadrant and we will start numbering the quadrant clockwise. Now, clockwise means we will start it from the right side. So we have numbered it 1, 2, 3, 4. Likewise, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the same manner, these two images are showing 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, each quadrant means I am talking the maxillary right, first quadrant, maxillary left, second quadrant, the mandibular left is third quadrant, and mandibular right is your fourth quadrant. I hope you have understood that. And the same line here, it is mentioned that for permanent dentition, each quadrant is assigned from 1 to 4. Do remember this, that the permanent dentition is marked or it is denoted by 1 to 4. 1 to 4 digit is given for permanent dentition, and it is done by clockwise manner. And to easily remember it, start it from your right side. Okay. Now, this is for the permanent teeth. What about the deciduous teeth? So for deciduous teeth, the same rule follows. And the only difference that comes from the deciduous and permanent teeth is that here the numbers which are assigned are, once we have finished the permanent, that was still 4. Now the next number will definitely be 5. So we will start it by 5, 6, 7, 8. And the same thing you can see here. This is for the primary, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I hope this is clear to you that for the permanent dentition, we are going to assign 4 numbers, 1 to 4 for each quadrant, and for the primary or the deciduous dentition, we are going to assign it from 5 to 8. That is 5, 6, 7, 8. So I hope this first digit of this X value is now clear to you, that how we have designated or how we have grouped the quadrants in the oral cavity. Now, what about the second digit? So the second digit here denotes the tooth. Now, what do you understand by that? So I have told you X denotes the quadrant. Okay. Now, what does the Y denotes? It denotes the tooth. Now, tooth, how many teeth are present in a oral cavity in a adult patient? 32 teeth are there. Now, if you divide 32, how many teeth will be there in one quadrant? Definitely there will be 8 teeth in one quadrant. So it is very easy to understand that again we are dividing it into 4 quadrants, and each teeth have 8 quadrant. Each quadrant has 8 teeth. So the permanent dentition, the numbering will be from 1 to 8. Okay, because each quadrant is having 8 teeth in its quadrant. Okay, and how you are going to start it from? We are going to start it from the incisors, the central incisor. Now, for this, if I am saying that I have divided the oral cavity into 4 quadrants, how I am going to divide it? So I am definitely going to use the midline of our body, and through midline I have divided into 2 better halves, the right side and the left side, and the maxillary and mandibular are dividing it horizontally. So I hope you are now understanding it, that from the central incisor. So if I am starting my count from right side, the first right central incisor, I'll be counting it as 1. The lateral incisor on the right side maxillary will be 2. So if you see this image, the first central incisor is your 1, 1. Why? Because this is the first quadrant, and here this is the right side, this is the left side, this is the maxillary, this is the mandible. I hope you are understanding that. So 1, 1 is your central incisor, Li, that is the lateral incisor. So 1, this is the quadrant number. 1, that is your tooth number. How we are numbering? I hope you have understood that we have started our numbering from the central incisor, and that is going till your third molar. So if you count your numbering from the first molar, from your first central incisor, so the central incisor is number 1, 2, 3, 4, and that goes on till third molar. And in the same image here you can see the central incisors, the lateral incisors, canines, first premolar, second premolar, first molar, second molar, and third molar. So this is how we number the permanent dentition from 1 to 8. So the first digit is your quadrant, which we have divided, and the second digit is your tooth number, which I have just counted with you. Now the same rule follows for the deciduous teeth also, but here you know that the deciduous teeth does not have premolars. So how will you be? So what will be the numbers? So definitely, if you remove the third molar, what are the teeth which are not present in our deciduous dentition? The 2 premolars are not present, and the third molar is not present. So how many teeth are to be removed? The 3 teeth are removed. So if 3 teeth are removed from the deciduous dentition, what are the teeth which are remaining? So there is central incisor, lateral incisor, the canines, the first molar, and the second molar. So how many teeth are there in deciduous dentition in one quadrant? There are 5 teeth which are present in the deciduous dentition. So that means we have 20 teeth in the deciduous dentition, and if we divide it into 4, how many teeth will be there? In one quadrant, 5 teeth will be there. Simple calculation, and you don't have to get even confused with this FDI system. So the first digit shows the quadrant, second digit shows the tooth number. And the tooth numbering will start from midline to the posterior region, which I have already told you that I have started my tooth numbering. The second digit is starting from my midline. That is the first, and last one is your third molar, that is your posterior side. So I hope you have understood these the two-digit system, the two-digit numbering system. And specifically, I have again just made you a differentiation for permanent and deciduous dentition. Permanent, for the first digit, it's quadrant, and second, it is the type of tooth denoted in the quadrant. And now you can see the oral cavity here. It is very easy to understand. This is your maxillary, this is your mandible, this is upper right, and this is upper left. So upper right is your maxillary right, maxillary left. This is lower left, that is your mandibular, and lower right, that is your mandibular right. So this is how we have divided it from the midline. Okay, so this is your central incisor, this is your central incisor, the right side and left side central incisor. And similarly, if you move to the primary dentition or the deciduous dentition, we have designated it, the oral cavity, into the two parts. This is maxillary, this is mandibular, this is right, this is left, this is central incisor, this is central incisor for the left side, for the maxillary left side. Now, if I ask you a question that what do you understand by 1/6, what will be your answer and how will you answer it? So the answer will be that we have to answer it that this particular tooth number 1/6 means that it is permanent maxillary right first molar. In the same sequence, you have to mention the FDI system. And what is that sequence? Firstly, we have to mention that the tooth is primary or permanent. Okay, that is your first key point. The second point you have to mention is by knowing the quadrant number. Now quadrant, if I'm saying 1, that means it is maxillary. That is the second point which you have to remember. Now if I'm saying 1, that means we have started from the right side. I have already told you. So that is the third point which you have to mention. And lastly, coming to the tooth number. So what is your tooth number? So that is your first molar. So I hope you are now able to recognize. I'm just giving you another example that how will you define it. So if I'm asking you and if I'm giving you 2, 4, what do you understand by this? Just come on, answer me for this. So yes, this is a second quadrant. So here I'm mentioning the permanent maxillary left side. What is your fourth? The first is central, lateral, canine, and fourth is your premolar. So here I have discussed about first premolar. So it is permanent maxillary left first premolar. That is your 2, 4. Okay. So I hope this is how you have understood the FDI system. Now, there are certain advantages. I have already mentioned that it is worldwide accepted. It is easy for you, and it is the only method which can make visual, cognitive, and computer sense. Each tooth has a separate number because we are numbering it separately. Secondly, it prevents error when differentiating between the left side and right side because we have differentiated the quadrants, and it is easy to transmit over the computer and easy for charting. But it can only be confused by ADA number. For that, you need to refer my other lecture that what exactly is this ADA number. ADA is nothing but we are giving it the entire number of the oral cavity is just numbered by from 1 to 32. We have not divided into quadrants. That is your ADA number. So I hope you have understood this FDI tooth numbering system. It is very easy and I have made it little easier for you to understand. So don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel for such kind of important easy discussions on important dental concepts. And you can also join our exclusive WhatsApp group on www.medicoapps.org/group so that whenever I upload such kind of important dental concepts, you will be easily notified for that. and the link of this group is given below in this description of the video. So keep watching our video. Thank you. Good day. Good luck.